Where do you think you're going?
I was, just going to wrap Rosie's things upstairs.
Oh, come on here. Let's have a look.
Okay.
I take it she's not into sport then. Unless that's the latest away strip for Man United.
If you're going to be like that.
I'm always like that. What's the matter with you? What did you get from me?
Well, I thought,
You got any ribbon?
No.
Wait a minute. Put your finger in there. All right. Scissors. See? Look at that. Bit of art history. Smash it.
David? David? David, it's Gillian. I know you're not at the office. Give me a call. Tell me where you are and when you're coming home. I might pop out.
See, it'd be nice. And I won't charge you for the ribbon. Please give your mum a big fat kiss from me. And a really good welt round the ear.
Starting out as little more than a tropical disturbance off the coast of Africa, now it continues to head west, straight towards the Florida coast, although it's still uncertain exactly when and where the hurricane is most likely to hit. Local weather experts predict this could be the largest hurricane to make a US landfall since Hurricane Camille. That was in 1969.
All set then?
Yep. As much as I'll ever be.
And he expecting you to meet him? Lovely.
Even if he is a half-decent bloke, we can't pretend I'm going to like him. But if he's going to play a part in Rosie's life, what can I do?
Break his nose and fatten his lip?
I wish.
Easy to say, I know. But you're there to see Rosie, so you make sure you enjoy every minute of it, okay?
Yeah.
Well, every day tomorrow. Friend's funeral to get through first.
Yeah. Night.
Night.
Because God has chosen to call our sister, Francesca, from this life to himself, we commit her body to the earth, for we are dust, and unto dust we shall return. So let us commend our sister to the Lord, that the Lord may embrace her in peace and raise up her body on the last day. Now let us pray as Christ the Lord has taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. Not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Look. I'm very sorry about your mother.
Thanks, Wieldy. Sure spoke fondly of you. Your time was doing sandwiches back in the house.
If you don't mind, I think I better get back.
Just want to offer our most sincere condolences. I can't tell you how much we shall miss Fran. She was much loved by all the patients. Thanks, Robert. And you know Dr. Silwood, don't you? Fran works in a surgery for years.
Yes, we met.
Well, you probably haven't met my wife, Valerie. Valerie, this is Detective Superintendent DL.
Superintendent,
You come back to the house.
I'm afraid we can't, Ted. Thank you. We'll see you later. Take care. Are you coming back to the house?
Yeah. Sorry, don't mean to be rude. I've got a plane to catch later on. Want to see Rosie?
And you're flying? It's a bit grand.
No, she's not in London anymore. She's gone to America with Ellie.
America?
Yeah, she was off the lecturing post at some university in Florida.
Is it a permanent move then?
Well, I hope not, no. Just for a year.
And Rosie's with her all the time? Must be hard. Mummy, I'm cold. Sorry, sweetheart.
Yeah, of course. See you in a minute.
So,
Goldie?
so Rosie, you could wish her a happy birthday.
That's very kind of you.
There's a book about Bally. You said she was interested.
Thanks, Wildy.
You're a soft touch, Whaley. Your secret's safe with me.
Does Peter know about the hurricane?
What I reckon?
Dad? Dad?
Okay. Yeah. I just want to get through today. And the next few hundred. She kept saying she was sorry. She had nothing to be sorry about.
Oh, Dad. You got to put that out of your mind. I mean, she was on painkillers. You know how they can affect people. She probably didn't know what she was saying half the time.
Yeah. I know. I know. Thanks, son. Yeah. She was a bit special, kid.
She certainly was. You were a very lucky man.
All good things, eh?
Ted, look, straight up, if there's anything you need, anything you want, Even if it's someone to get hammered with, just let us know.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that. You know I'm not much of a drinker. I think the sooner I get back to work. Hey, is it right Peter's going to the States for a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
He'll be short of the DI then.
He does bugger all anyway.
Anybody going to be made up while he's away?
I wonder who you're thinking of.
Well, I don't want Mark to be a DS all his life. Not like me, Andy. Look good on his CV.
The entry fee is at least 2 bottles of single malt.
I was thinking more like half a case.
Oh, with that, you can have my job.
Really?
What?
Can I have a word, sir?
Yeah, go on.
That's right.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just someone's been found dead. Not exactly natural causes. But you get on your way. Enjoy your holiday.
Who? What happened?
Just leave it to us, don't worry. We'll have it sold by the time you're 33,000 feet up in the air. That'll clear the hurricane, won't it, Mildy?
No problem.
What hurricane? A thumping great big beggar. Building up steam over the Bahamas. And like you, Florida bound.
You're joking.
Hey, this is the best bit. Tell him, Wieldy. Tell him the name.
Hurricane Andy. Mr. Brewer was found by his secretary when she came into work this morning. He was tied to a chair. Office ransacked. Ivor's talking to her now.
There's a Mrs. Brewer.
So,
Where was she?
at home.
And didn't notice Hubby was missing until this morning. Not newlyweds then.
Morning, sir. No sign of forced entry.
Dr. Silver,
Good.
what can you tell us?
Well, not a lot. I'm afraid I'd rather leave it to the PM.
I take it you knew the deceased.
Oh, yes.
Excuse me.
It was family in a way. Poor Gillian. Well, it's his wife. She's my sister-in-law. I take it she knows.
Yes, she was here earlier.
Will you excuse me? I think I'd better go and see her.
I'd rather you didn't, actually. Not until I've spoken to her first.
Oh.
No offence, though. It's just the way it is. Oh. Someone didn't like his taste in shirts.
I've met Mr. Brewer a couple of times when he came into the Nick.
Can't say I've had the pleasure. Was it a pleasure?
No, it wasn't, to tell the truth.
Ivor?
Jane Lester's the secretary. Said she passed the office yesterday evening with her dog, but there were no lights on.
What time?
8:30. She did see the victim's wife, though, in her own car. Slowed down outside the office and then kept going.
Oh, Jilly. I'm so sorry. Do they know what's happened? No. Well, I don't know. No one's told me anything. They wouldn't even let me see him. What? They brought me home. Suggested I call someone. Offered to stay. I wish I'd said yes now, then at least I'd know what was going on.
Do you want me to find out?
I just wanted to see him. I feel so dreadful. You see, I got home early last night. Then I went out. Tom. I know. What are you going to say? This hasn't got anything to do with him, has it? What? No! No! This looks like the police. You're going to have to tell them everything. Val, I can't. Well, they're going to find out. Listen, Jill, you're going to have to tell them about Tom. Look, can you tell me what's happened? Nobody's told me what's happened.
He was found tied to a chair. We don't yet know the cause of death. The office was ransacked. Beyond that, there's very little we do know. Was your husband working late?
I drove home past the office. There weren't any lights on.
What time was that?
I don't know. 8:15, 8:30.
And when he didn't come home?
I thought he'd probably gone fishing.
All night.
Yes.
And weren't you worried when he didn't phone? You called him on his mobile.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did.
And where were you?
Here?
Did you say you and your husband were close, Mrs. Brewer?
Yes.
No secrets?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Hey. What do you make of the fragrant Mrs. B?
Not that upset.
No.
Is it okay if I see her now?
Yeah, this is, Doctor.
Thanks.
Oh, it's you.
How is she?
Not good. She's upstairs getting some things. I've told her to stay the night with us. Well, what's the matter?
It's Mum's solicitor.
David Brewer.
He's dead. I think he's been murdered.
Sir, I've been thinking.
Unusual but interesting. Go on, amaze me.
I ran a check. Murders with a similar MO. Tied with their own clothing. Office ransacked. The computers confirmed we had one on our patch only 5 years ago. Paul Sutton.
Ah, private detective.
Sutton's file. Plenty of enemies, I seem to remember.
The unfaithful tend not to like getting caught.
He also spied on families for the council, videoing dole sheets, vandals, those fiddling housing benefit.
I suppose it might be connected. Maybe Brewer hired something. You didn't actually work on the Sun case, did you, Willie?
No.
Got someone here who did, though. Mark Locke. He's back on the job tomorrow, isn't he?
Well, if there's nothing else, I'll get down the mortuary.
There's not a lot I can tell you, really. I'd say he died in the early hours of the morning, following a coma. But he could have been in the chair for several hours before that. There's quite a bit of bruising around the face, the back of the head, various parts of the body, bruising to the knuckles of the right hand, all indicative of a fight or struggle.
Fingernails?
Taken a sample from under his nails. Nothing very promising. Sorry.
Cause of death?
He had a number of severe blows to the head, with or against a heavy object. But I must say, I'd be surprised if they'd caused his death.
No. We haven't got very much at all, Mark. We need to take a hard look at Mrs. Brewer. Something doesn't add up there, but we don't know what it is yet. Oh, and we're having another look at the Paul Sutton case. From 5 years back? Similar MO.
Is it? In what way? Right. Yeah, okay, if you hear anything else, thanks. No, just curious, that's all. Yeah.
Willie back from the dead yet?
Haven't seen him, sir. We've finished searching Brewer's office. Didn't find anything interesting, but there was this letter addressed to you.
To me?
We found it like that, sir. Already opened.
Have you read it?
No, sir. Miss Lester's compiling a list of all the people Brewer had been in contact with over the last month.
Oh, Fran.
Sir?
Will?
PM report.
Right.
He can't be sure what time the attack took place. Could be any time between 5:30 and midnight.
We've got an out then. Just leave it with me, okay?
Dear Andy, I'm sorry to take the coward's way out and not tell you myself, but I think you'll understand. All these years, to my terrible shame, I've kept from you something you had a right to know. I hope from the pictures that you've already guessed that Mark is your son. I think if we're honest, we both know it wouldn't have worked. You didn't want to marry me, but Ted did. The reason I'm telling you now is partly because you have a right to know, and partly, as you'll see, because of the other letter. Ted doesn't know the truth. As a result, my shame was used against me, and I did something that I regret immensely. What people choose to call me now, you included, can't hurt me, but it can destroy those I love. I know I've robbed you of the chance to know your son, but I also know you're wise and kind, and you'll use this information to decide what's best. Yours ever.
Oh, Fran.
See you in the morning.
Willie, do you ever think about family? Whether if things have been different? I mean, I was thinking about kids, really.
Do I ever want kids?
Yeah. Sorry. I had no right to ask. It's none of my business anyway.
I think for me, it's never really been an option. Practicalities, and so you put it out your mind mostly. But when I look round, I sometimes think people with kids don't always know what they've got. Seems like they just take it for granted.
You'd never take anything for granted, would you, Willie?
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Willie, you hungry? Ah.
Have you heard from Peter?
Center has declared Hurricane Andy category
Has he
5.
arrived safely?
In Florida, many visitors and
Well, he doesn't look good.
already left.
For heaven's sake, Willie, it's a wind. You know what a fuss these Americans make? Stick 'em on Saddleworth Moor in a January gale. That'll give 'em something to think about.
Hello? Yeah? Have you heard anything? Is Mark there? Can I speak to him?
No, I'm sorry, Gillian, we don't know anything. Mark wasn't at work today.
Of course. I'm so sorry. No, I shouldn't have called. No, thank you. That's very kind. I'm staying with my sister. I'll be okay.
I take it there's no news.
No, nobody knows anything.
I'll get you a drink. Oh, I'll get it. Tom, is Jilly here? She is resting. I need to speak to her. Sorry, Tom. She must not be disturbed.
Tom, what are you doing?
I just want to talk to you, Jilly. I couldn't get through on the phone.
Come on through, Tom. We're going to the conservatory. Oh, stop it.
This is getting serious now. We're all getting dragged into this. If we're not careful, we're going to get done for some kind of conspiracy. What I'm saying is, I think the police should be told.
Don't you dare say anything to the police.
Just answer me one question. How can she be so sure that Tom did murder her husband?
Because they were together last night.
Exactly. And how do you think that's going to look? Who's to say they're not both involved?
Don't be ridiculous.
All right, you do what you have to. But I'm telling you, it's my job. It's my reputation that's at stake here. If the police ask me, I'm not going to lie. Hi, Willie. How's it going? Fine. Anything new on the Brewer case?
No, I don't think so.
DS Lock. It's Mr. Dale for you.
Set. Okay, I'm on my way.
Willie, come in, come in. Close the door. I won't beat about the bush. We'll need a DI while Peter's away, and I decided on this occasion to give Mark a shot. Now, there's no question that you'd be more than capable, Willie. Not the slightest doubt, but I think it would do Mark a lot of good right now and take his mind off things. And it's only for a couple of weeks, after all. Hardly worth it.
Is that all, sir?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Oh, would you ask Mark to come in?
Sir? Well done.
Hey?
Boss wants to see you.
Listen, the Brewer case. Now, DS Wheeler and I met his widow yesterday. We'll keep her in the frame. There's a lot of elbow grease needed to sift through the Brewer case documents. Man in his profession rubs people up the wrong way, not to mention police officers. There's another angle that Wheeler's come up with. Brewer was found tied and gagged with his own clothes. Now, it's vaguely similar to that of Paul Sutton, who was found dead here in Weatherton 5 years ago. Now, there's no reason to connect them at the moment, but,
Hello?
we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
DS Lock, now acting DI Lock. All right, take it easy. He worked on the Sutton case, and that might come in handy.
Yeah.
Paul Sutton, by the way, was a private detective. Wheel's going to be looking through the client list of both Sutton and Brewer. He's going to need a lot of help. Okay, everyone? On your way. Yeah. Wieldy, come here. Lighten up.
Sir,
Myra?
that was the front office. They just took an anonymous call about the Brewer case. The caller claimed that Mrs. Brewer's having an affair.
Not a surprise. Any idea who with?
Tom Piper. He's the local butcher.
No clue as to who the caller was.
No, sir, only that it was a man.
Right. Let's check it out. Ivor, you didn't find anything else addressed to me in Brewer's office, did you?
No, sir. Should I have?
Mrs. Locke hinted to me that in a note that she'd sent another letter. We'll keep an eye out and we'll check on this Tom Piper.
Yes, sir.
I didn't realise you had a letter from her mum. Can I ask what it said?
Oh, it's just some stuff about your dad.
Dad?
Yeah. Well, she was worried about him, you know, and that sort of thing. She asked me to keep an eye out.
What, are you saying there's another letter which is missing?
We don't know that it's missing. We don't know if she even sent it.
Any idea why? I mean, what's it about?
No, not a clue, son. You haven't any ideas, have you?
No?
She was your prisoner, it's your mess, you clean it up. Look at you. Hey, Andy, is it true? You've made him up?
Good news travels fast, eh?
Yeah, that's great. First one in the family to make it past the stripes, eh?
Oh, you only got that far.
Hey, Andy. Thanks, kid. He won't let you down.
You know this Tom Piper, then?
Yeah, of course. Took the shop over from his dad about 5 years ago. Tom was at the funeral with his wife. They had a rocky time. Lost a child a few years ago.
Well, what do you make of this tip-off? Is it likely?
I wouldn't have thought so.
You haven't heard anything, then?
Don't listen to gossip. Waste of time. Morning, Tom. This is Detective Superintendent Dalziel. I wonder if you might have a word.
Of course. Sir?
I'll come straight to the point, Mr. Piper. Are you having an affair with Gillian Brewer?
It's none of your business.
Well, it might be. If it means you've got a motive to murder her husband. Where were you on Thursday night?
With my wife at home. Look, this isn't on.
All evening?
No, she was at choir practice and I
Yeah?
had an order to discuss.
With Mrs. Brewer? I bet.
She happens to be one of our best customers.
Yeah, but I'm not from the Chamber of Trade, am I? What time are you with Mrs. Brewer?
From about 8:30 till about 10.
Obviously, her meat supply is so important they couldn't wait until morning.
Look, if you want to discuss this, can we perhaps go somewhere else?
Just what I was going to suggest. Why don't we do it at the Nick? Morning.
Morning.
Must be a cold and frosty one.
I met Tom at Stenby Vale. It's a meeting place we've used before.
How long were you together?
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Anyone see you? Under the circumstances, I'm afraid that's not much of an alibi. And for all we know, you could have kept watch while Loverboy trussed up hubby like a rolled shoulder. I think there's a lot to talk about, Mrs. Brewer. And we need you to make a statement. So if you'd like to get yourself together. Mrs. Brewer, I don't suppose you've ever heard of a man called Paul Sutton.
No. No, I don't think so. Who is he?
Who was he, you mean? Never mind. It's a long shot. Do you want to get your coat?
I knew Paul Sutton. What's he got to do with anything?
How do you know him?
I employed him not long before he died. Why'd you ask about him?
Now, why would a nice lady like you need to employ a sleazebag like Sutton?
I'm sure you can guess.
Oh? He'll be getting too close to his patients.
To his nurse.
Friend Locke. You're not serious.
Oh, yes. For a while they seemed very close. She even turned up in the doorstep in tears once.
I don't think you're thinking straight, Valerie.
I'm sorry, Mark. But remember, I used to be my husband's nurse.
I'm not listening to any more of this. I'll see you outside. Sorry, just hit a raw nerve. You know my parents, for someone to start talking like that now.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. No sign of that ruddy letter either.
No, sir.
Hey, look, we took off, sir.
No chance. Anyway, I'm not sure the butcher's got the balls for it. Anything with Sutton?
No, very little of his work was in Stenby.
What about Mrs. Selwood?
Mrs. Still.
Yeah, she used Sutton. Had some mad notion the good doctor was doing a little private practice with Fran Locke. Yeah, that's what I thought.
No. Mrs. Silwood. She's not listed as one of Sutton's clients.
Mark in my office.
Yeah, he's waiting for you.
Wieldy, we better have a word with the doctor. Just give me 5 minutes, okay?
What happens now?
I'm going to have to take you off the case. I'm sorry. It's no reflection on you, Mark, or what they think of your mum, but her name's come up and we're going to have to play it by the book from now on.
You don't really think there's any truth in it, do you?
I promise you, I'm going to give you another chance as soon as it's over, okay?
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Hey, Andy. Is it true you bumped him down already?
No choice, Ted.
Why?
Fran's name came up in the investigation.
Fran? What do you mean?
Well, it's obviously complete rubbish, but I'm afraid it's been alleged that Fran had an affair with someone who may be linked to the case.
An affair? What, you're joking?
Look, there's no one keener than I am to prove that's cobblers, but until I do. These are, purely routine questions, Doctor.
Of course, if I can be of any help.
Did you ever meet or come into contact with a private detective by the name of Paul Sutton?
No.
He was found dead 5 years ago in very similar circumstances to David Brewer. Were you or your wife ever interviewed in connection with his death?
No.
We have a witness who says that they employed Paul Sutton to follow you.
To follow me?
Yes.
What for?
You weren't aware you were being observed.
No, as I've just said, to the best of my knowledge, I never met him. Hey, what is this all about? Why was I under surveillance?
Perhaps you should ask your wife. Your second wife, Valerie. She was a nurse?
Yes.
She worked for you?
Yes.
Before or after you were married?
Before.
whilst you were still married to your first wife?
I think what you're building to, Superintendent, is do I have a habit of sleeping with my nurses? No, I don't.
So you never had any form of sexual relationship with Fran Locke?
No, certainly not.
Not even a presidential one?
Look, if I may say, I don't think it's entirely my reputation you should be looking into.
No?
Though this is slightly awkward, but, in the spirit of cooperation, Fran always seemed a picture of virtue, but, I happen to know, in fact she told me, there was a question about the paternity of her son.
Really?
You mustn't forget, Superintendent, I did treat Mark as a child. And these things come out, don't they, you know? When a child is seriously ill, you have to look into genetic patterns and medical family history, the mother, the father. Fran pretty well indicated to me there was no point in looking at Ted.
Fran wouldn't touch that creek with rubber gloves and a barge pole. Who the hell's he trying to kid?
Why would he make up malicious stories about?
Why not? Everyone else does.
But why? What's the reason? Perhaps there is something behind it.
Don't you start at all.
The police have just been here. Yes, DL and that other one. Death warmed up. We need to talk. No, you don't. You're in this up to your neck. I said we need to talk.
All right, I've been thinking. Well, wondering whether I should look for something else. I mean, not the police.
But why, Mark? I thought you liked your job.
I do. Well, I did. But it's like what we were saying yesterday. It just feels like time for a change.
I don't understand. Not just because they bumped you down, is it?
Oh, no, that's really nothing. It's not.
Then what?
Ready?
You need your gloves.
I don't know where they are.
Well, find them then. Go on.
What I know is, if I do quit, find something else. Would you mind?
I just think we could afford it. It's a lot at stake. Pension and...
It's a lot, I know.
Look, I know it's a difficult time at the moment with your mum and everything, but it'll pass. It really will.
But it's not just that.
Then what is it then, love? Something wrong? Something else? You're not in any trouble, are you? Is it something to do with the David Brewer investigation?
It kind of is. But it's very complicated.
Right. All those. Where are we going?
Yeah, I'll catch you.
Yeah, see you later. No, it's all right. I won't start without it.
You're not seriously thinking about going, are you?
Of course, why not? I thought we might all go.
Well, I'm not going.
All right. Think I better put in an appearance anyway.
Sorry. After everything that's happened and how she's feeling, you want to drag her out in front of the entire village?
Oh, I didn't tell you. Had the police around today. Making ridiculous insinuations.
What?
Seems you've been hiring private detectives. You should have kept your paranoid fantasies about me and Fran Locke to yourself.
Well, perhaps if you'd been more honest with me in the first...
Here we go again.
No, listen.
You listen! It's one thing you accuse of me in private, but why the hell must you go bleating onto that fat slob? Got no pride at all, have you? You go banging on about how we have to cover for Gillian. You don't mind washing your own dirty linen in public? Well, I'm not going to let you embarrass me. I'm going out. What's going on? What do they know? Am I a suspect or what?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I'm not even on the case anymore.
Well, I think you can still find out. You kept me out of the frame once before over something, and you can do it again. Whatever you have to do.
No, not this time. You can threaten me all you like, it won't do any good.
Oh. And what about your mum?
What about her?
You think because she's dead it can all be forgotten? Before you make any more stupid decisions, I think you should read this.
This is a letter that my mum sent to Andy DL. You took it from David Brewer's office, didn't you?
Never mind about that. This letter falls into the wrong hands. It puts your mum right back in the middle of things.
And you. It's you's got most to lose. My mother was never a killer, and neither am I.
Sutton had to die to protect your mother. He had evidence to incriminate both of us.
You killed Sutton to protect yourself. And you killed Brewer to get the letter.
You can't prove that.
David Brewer had a heart attack that he tied to his chair. What did you give him?
Why don't you ask your dad? Bit of an expert himself now.
Dad?
Oh, yes. See, your mother was in terrible pain before she died. But equally, she could have gone on living quite a lot longer.
You can't prove anything. And once people know what you've done, they're hardly going to believe a word you say. I think I can protect Dad.
You can't protect yourself.
I'll just have to live with that. If my mum wanted the truth to come out, then it's time we all faced it, no matter how hard it's going to be.
Wielding, have you some more anywhere? We'll get to go soon. I'm going to bed.
Has he got his phone?
What's that?
The phone.
Hello? Who's there?
No.
It's Mark. Mark.
get you a doctor! Robert!
Hey. Andy? Is that you? What a nightmare. Don't believe the journey I just had. Andy? Andy? Morning, sir.
Follow me.
When did you find out?
The day you left.
Who knows?
You.
Did Mark? Andy. Well, the way I see it, you can either sit here and drink your brains out, you can nail the bastard who's done this. That your answer, then?
Willie? Peter? I didn't know you were back.
Don't ask, Wildy. Don't ask.
Where's the boss?
At home.
Home.
What have we got?
Mark was hit with something repeatedly. It was probably metal, a bar, a tube. No witnesses. But it looks as if it's tied in with David Brewer. And another case before that.
Something. I've just been through both files.
It's time for the briefing. Are you,
Yeah, I'll take it. You're late. As I was saying, hard as it may sound, if anybody lets their emotions get the better of them, and they decide to cut corners, bend the rules, in order to nail whoever it was killed Mark, I will personally tear them apart. Because once we got this killer, and we will get him, I don't want him walking from court because one of us lost our cool and blew it. Now go. Pizza. I need you to help me talk to Laura. I'm so sorry, love. Peter, get her a drink or something.
No, honestly, I'm fine.
How's Molly?
I don't understand. I don't understand it. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm afraid we have to ask you some questions. Did Mark ever mention the name Paul Sutton to you?
No.
Were you aware there's a rumour about Dr. Silwood and Mark's mum?
Yeah, but they weren't having an affair.
How do you know that?
Mark said it wasn't true.
He said that?
Yeah.
And you believed him?
Of course.
Was there anything else troubling him? What was it, Laura?
I asked him if there was something wrong, and there was. I think it was something to do with David Brewer's murder. He said,
What did he say?
He said he'd tell me later, but...
Laura, did Mark ever say anything about Dr. Silwood? He was a GP, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't, no. Mark never really liked him.
Why was that?
Mark always thought Silwood was a quack. Didn't want Molly anywhere near him.
Silwood. What are you thinking? There's a nasty smell about him. He's getting nasty by the minute. I'm going to pull him in.
What for? Murder?
Fran told me there was something she regretted. Seems there was something going on between her and Silwood. But we can't find a confession. And their solicitor's dead. I think whatever it was, Silwood's trying to stop it getting out.
Or what about Sutton?
Well, he was hired to watch Silwood. But for some reason, when Sutton was murdered, Silwood and his wife didn't figure in the investigation. Might be coincidence. And I might just be a 32-inch waist.
And Mark?
Well, yeah, what Laura said. He didn't trust him. I think Mark knew something. Something he found out when he worked on the Sutton case.
Andy, we don't have any evidence. We don't even have a motive.
I'm going to find out what Silwood's hiding. Even if I have to arrest him first. Where were you when you heard the news of Mark's attack?
Oh, I was talking to someone, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Tom Piper.
Think.
It was, yes.
And before that?
Well, I've no idea. I mean, there's such a crowd. I can't tell you exactly who I saw and spoke to and at what time.
In other words, you don't have an alibi.
Well, I wasn't aware that I needed one.
Well, why are you trying to invent one? You won't mind if we take a quick look round, will you?
I most certainly do.
Tough.
Sir.
What on earth is going on? Robert? Superintendent?
I'm afraid your husband's under arrest, Mrs. Silwood.
Robert. This way, Mrs. Silwood.
Andy, there's a safe through here. There's a machine over there, sir.
Put it in.
A hidden camera.
So the sound up, Wieldy.
These things happen all the time, you know they do.
It's no good, it's no good.
Just calm down, come on. Now, there's nothing to worry about. The coroner will ask a few questions. All you have to do is answer them.
Say what?
Just tell the truth.
The truth?
The truth was, it was a very severe attack. There's nothing to suggest otherwise, Fran.
She was given the wrong medication.
It was a genuine mistake.
But I queried it with you.
Then you interfered and you did it. You gave it to her. Why? This is not solving anything.
The parents have a right to know.
Yes. Fran, this moral conscience of yours, does it include your own family?
What do you mean?
Well, there are some truths you'd rather people didn't know. Aren't there? Aren't there? I'd like to speak to my solicitor.
I bet.
So, somebody in Stenby lost a child in July 96.
I think I know who we should be talking to. No, Mr. Piper.
Not yet. We had a few things to sort out.
What happened the day your daughter died?
She had a really bad attack. Nothing worked, her inhaler, nothing. She just couldn't breathe. We called Dr. Silwood and Fran was there too. They did what they could, but she just got worse and worse. By the time the ambulance came...
Did Dr. Silwood prescribe any medication for her?
Yeah, he did. Fran gave us something, but it just didn't seem to help.
So is this something to do with Dr. Silwood?
We're not sure.
We've a right to know.
We can't prove anything. Not yet.
Oh, God.
I'm looking forward to this.
Andy, don't you think we're jumping the gun here?
Jump with a gun. That bag of pus was responsible for the death of a 3-year-old girl. He made Fran's life a misery, and I think he murdered my son. So just how am I jumping the gun?
There's still no evidence. Even the tape proves nothing.
I'll crack him. Smarmy git.
I thought you said we had to play it by the book.
I am playing it by the book. What have I done wrong?
I think you're too involved. Cool off, or it'll get the better of you.
If I hadn't arrested him, we wouldn't have got this far. You cool off. Get down to Village Hall and check on a search. I'll do the interview with Wieldy.
The child's death was... Well, it wasn't helped by a terrible mistake of Fran Locke's. I wanted to protect her. I admit now, with the benefit of hindsight, I should not have colluded with her.
So you're saying you were covering for her?
Yes.
Although the tape shows Fran Locke willing to come forward, and you threatening her so she wouldn't.
I mean, that is one of many conversations, Superintendent. You can't take it completely out of context.
Context?
Yes, it was an illustration. Albeit a clumsy one, but to show how the truth can sometimes be so unnecessarily hurtful.
Really?
Yes. Really.
So how come we have this tape?
Well, I believe Fran must have sent it to me.
When?
It's about the time she was dying.
Why?
Absolutely no idea.
Paul Sutton made this tape, didn't he?
Sutton, the private detective. Yes, that sounds like a plausible idea.
I think you obtained the tape when he was murdered.
Well, I don't think so, Superintendent.
Sir. Andy, the solicitor's earning his fat fee. He wants Silwood out now. So unless you...
Yeah. Ted. Silwood. No, nothing. Look, I think it's best if I drop round, okay?
Do they think you killed Mark Locke?
No, they don't. Oh, maybe, yes. They don't know. They're just making wild guesses. You know how it is when it's one of their own, they get desperate.
But why do they think it's you?
I don't know. Why was Silver down the neck? You treated him as a suspect.
We had him in for questioning. A number of things.
Come on, Andy. There's no need to stonewall me. I'm in the job.
I know. There was absolutely no evidence. He's been released.
Is this something to do with Fran? The rumours?
It's not what people were saying, Ted. They weren't having an affair. I promise you that.
I know. Andy, you don't have to promise me.
I take it you didn't crack him? No. You were right. I went in there starkers. Enjoy it?
Andy, it's not like that.
What do you got for me?
Nothing. We searched just about every gutter.
The graveyard?
Yeah?
Did you search the graves?
Don't we need permission for this? Won't be that deep.
It was dark, he was in a hurry.
What's going on? Dr. Silver's been attacked. They're taking him to hospital now.
Anyone see anything?
No, sir. He was found unconscious in a study by Mrs. Silverwood.
She inside?
No, she's gone to the hospital with her husband. Oh, sir. One of the neighbours saw a man hanging about earlier. It was Tom Piper.
Silwood.
You already know.
I was with Gillian Brewer when her sister phoned. Gillian dropped me off and went straight to the hospital.
Okay, thank you. You don't need to see us out. They don't know anything.
I'm going for a walk.
What shall I do?
Nothing, yeah. Here.
Teddy, you in? I took your advice, Andy. I don't know why you're here. I didn't think it would take you long.
You went to see Silwood.
Oh, yeah.
Did he tell you?
He said everything was Fran's fault. That she wasn't the woman I thought she was. She had secrets, and he said he'd been protecting me from the truth all these years, but I might as well know now. But Mark wasn't my son. He was destroying everything I lived for, Andy. He was taking everything away, even my memories. And I lost it, Andy. I just lost it.
You did what any father would have done, Ted.
What do you mean?
Mark must have found out what Silwood was up to. I'm sorry I didn't confirm it before, but we do think Silwood killed him.
I should have finished him off when I had a chance. Have you nicked him?
We're close.
Silwood told me that a simple DNA test would prove whether Mark was my son. But if I wasn't the father, Andy, there's only one man it could have been.
She chose you, Ted.
Yeah.
Look, I don't have to take you to Worthing. We can go to another Nick if you prefer.
Hang on. Andy, you might as well hear everything. Fran was in a lot of pain at the end. You know that, and I couldn't let her suffer. I helped her.
Hey, be careful what you're saying. I mean, do I have to hear this?
Yeah, you do. No matter what happens to me, but I want you to nail Silwood. I helped Fran die, and Silwood showed me how to do it.
What exactly did he tell you to do, Ted?
We think David Brewer was injected with insulin.
Insulin disappears pretty quickly. I'll take a look at this blood sample. We'll just have to hope we're in time.
I'll have a quiet word with him first. Can I go in?
Not if you're going to question him.
I'm a personal friend, that's all.
Well, for a minute or two.
Remember me? Can't move, can you? Can't run. Can't hide. This is how Paul Sutton and David Brewer must have felt. I'll say this. For a doctor, you got a very casual attitude to life. Sutton, Brewer, Mark Block. Not to mention the lives you've ruined. Ted. and friends. Apparently, all I have to do is get a little needle and a very big dose of insulin, and no one's any the wiser. But that'd be too kind. I'm not really into mercy killing. It's not my scene. I want you to remember what you've done for as long as possible. Peter, come in.
Robert Silwood. I'm arresting you for the murders of Paul Sutton, David Brewer, and Mark Locke. You do not have to say anything, but anything you do say may harm your defence if you fail to mention when questioned something you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be used in evidence.
So, I never got to ask. How was America?
I arrived just as Ellie and Rosie were leaving. No sleep for me, of course. I had to hire a car and drive 600 miles to get a connecting flight to Washington. Washington to New York, New York to Paris. Barrel of laughs.
Did you meet Ellie's new bloke?
He's okay. Harmless enough. It's not stuff with Ellie that hurts anymore. It's Rosie. When she pulls off a bike or wakes in the night. You know, someone's there, but it's not me.
Yeah. You know, Fran asked me if I wanted to settle down. She wanted us to get married. But she never told me she was pregnant. When I heard, I remember thinking, poor Ted. Glad it's not me. Wife and kid in tow. I was too busy. Too sold on the job. Everything else came a poor second.
Always has. You made a choice. Must have seemed like the right one at the time.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.